Her name is NITHYA Balasubramanium. I welcome you, Miss NITHYA Balasubramanium, who is a functional medicine health coach with a passion for helping people build healthy and sustainable habits, and that will help them to heal and thrive. Her topic for today is the psychology of change, which I guess everywhere change is the constant thing that one thinks about when moving in life, socially, physically, economically, in all terms, right? So over to you, Nitya. Please give your insights on your topic and we'll take up the questions after that.
Yes, thank you so much, Karishma. And good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I hope I can make it worth your while. Let me just pull up my presentation. Yeah, can you all see it?
Yes, yes, we can see it. Can you please like do it as a full screen?
Yes,
Right.
yes. I'm just going to do that. Yeah. Is this good?
Yes, yes, good. Please go on. Thank you.
Okay. So, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to present my thoughts on the topic that I've chosen, the psychology of change. Um, you're probably wondering what this obscure topic is doing amidst a sea of fantastic, really hard functional medicine topics. Um, I just thought I'd change things up a bit for you. But seriously, I think. Change is so vital to a functional medicine approach that I thought it would be worthwhile to sort of spend some time understanding how it works. I suppose, I want to use this topic to make a case on the importance of health coaching slash health coaches in the functional medicine realm of things. So let's dive right in. So, we've all been talking about diagnosis, interventions, well-crafted protocols. So, you're probably wondering, why is understanding the mechanism of change so important? I mean, we do have protocols that are crafted to help people change. So, why is this so important? And really, the simple answer to that is there is a method to the madness. There is a science and art of change, and really applying simple techniques can really make change that much more effective. So this is interesting. I logged into the webinar last evening and I heard Dr. Musa say that someone walked up to him and said, "Hey, is diabetes reversible using functional medicine?" And he said, "Of course, it's reversible. All you have to do is change your lifestyle, change your diet, change a bunch of things, and you would have reversed the condition." So I guess just based and that's what a lot of people have been talking about through this morning, and I think it's safe to say that we are in the business of change, and therefore it would be beneficial to all of us to learn a little more about how change works. I guess there is a lot of relief. There is a lot of comfort in having just a good diagnosis and having a protocol, like sort of a roadmap on what you need to do to reverse your condition. But truly, it's what follows that determines the success of that protocol. It truly it's the ability of our client to make those changes listed in the protocol that's going to determine whether or not they're going to be able to reverse their condition. And so moving on, sustainable transformation. So we all know that functional medicine is not a short-term intervention. We are in it for the long haul. And therefore, it is so important for our protocols to be designed to hold attention, interest, and motivation levels for a really long period of time. And so that our clients can make sustainable, long lasting transformations. Uh, Achievements and fulfillment. This by far is my most favorite argument for why we need to sort of spend some time understanding how change works. And it simply translates to health and well being. How often have we used these two words, health and well being? We use them interchangeably. We use them to mean the same things, but in reality, they actually mean two different things. Most of our protocol is focused on the health side of things, which is measurable. So we are seeking to sort of address all the numbers in the health, in the blood work that is out of whack. People want to lose weight, so there's number to that. We're tracking symptoms and assigning values to the symptoms, tracking blood pressure, and so on. So the protocol is all about addressing measurable, mostly. It's not to say that we don't address well-being. So there is a number to begin with, and then there is a number in the end which tracks how well we are done. But there is this whole different side of health, called well-being or fulfillment, which is very abstract, immeasurable. We can't even define it. It's just that feeling of vitality, the ability to live in harmony with yourself, as people previously have spoken about. It has everything to do with waking up with a sense of purpose, self-confidence, self-worth, gratitude, how happy you are, and so on. It's that invisible force that has such a huge impact on our health and well-being. So I guess what I'm trying to say is a good protocol or a good change plan would definitely align our health goals to the larger goals in life, life goals. And because health and well-being are like two sides of the same coin. You cannot have one without the other. And so I guess understanding change would also enable us to sort of create this link between the two, which is so vital. So before we move on to what change, what are the mechanisms of change? I just wanted to quickly spend a little time on defining change, what changes. We all know the conventional definition, which is to substitute or change our direction, maybe from conventional medicine to functional medicine, switching gears, and ultimately change in its highest form leads to transformation. It's change at an identity level. So I guess we're all aware of it, but I think at a functional medicine level, given the nature and duration of contract, I guess it would also mean to consistently strengthen the client's motivation and commitment to change. And also empowering them to find their own voice and motivation. They're here with us for a brief while, 3 months, 4 months. And so during that time, we are there to motivate them, be their cheerleader, find their confidence, etc. But I guess part of change would also be to teach our clients how to do that for themselves. I really want to spend some time on this model of change. It's called the trans-theoretical model of change. It's a beautiful model that tells you all the stages one has to go through to finally embrace change fully and wholly. And it was come up with, two behavioral scientists came up with it way back in the 1970s, and it has withstood the test of time. So what this actually tells you is when you're in the process of making behavioral changes or trying to establish new habits, change is not a linear process. It's not like going from A to B to C and finally graduating to your destination. It's actually a cyclical process. It begins with pre-contemplation. This is a stage where the client has no idea that there is a problem to be solved, right? I don't have a problem. They are in denial. Those niggling aches, pains, stressors, fatigue, they have normalized and rationalized. So there's nothing here to be done. Right. And so then they sort of graduate to the contemplation stage, where those problems are making themselves, they're becoming more apparent. And so people are realizing that there is an actual problem, but, they probably don't know what to do about it. Or maybe they don't even want to do anything about it, right? They feel like, okay, I probably need to give up drinking, but, it's such a huge part of my social identity that I don't want to right now, or I am not about to give up my rotis. So it's an argument. I understand that my sugar levels are not great, but I am not about to give it up. So there's a yes but conversation going on here, and So then it's a constant discussion, that people have in their minds, and there will probably be a definitive event, like perhaps a lab work that's a wake up call, and you see so many reds and you're like, I got to do something about it. And then you decide to sort of prepare. People read up about their condition, and then there is you reach out to people. This is typically when we our clients come in contact with us. They are in the preparation stage, ready to take action, but they need information. They lack guidance. They don't know how to go about it. So they reach out to us, and and so we bring them on board. I think signing up is an action step, but then we give them a diagnosis, there is a protocol and all of that. So preparation is a lot of information exchange. So it's very crucial to sort of set the right expectations at this point. And then this is action. You move to an action stage, which is where the tire hits the road. This is where all the grunge work happens. All the learnings is put to action. You're experimenting. You are taking that protocol and running with it. Motivation levels are really high. So is willpower, and there is an air of desperation for solution, some measure of curiosity. So this is also the stage when you realize that, hey, this is hard. I'm not sure if I can do it. And if you can get past that voice in your head and the challenges that come with this stage, you would move to a maintenance, which is you've been working on it for a while, and it's not as hard. You don't have to expend as much time and energy to keep up with your new habits, and it's becoming easier. And a word of caution for this phase would be, do not, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. If things are working for you, just let it continue going the way. And despite our best efforts, there could be a relapse. And this is what this model is trying to tell you, that you cycle through this process several times before you can actually find something that works for you, and that is okay. So a protocol is never like you hand them over a list of changes to make. You go through multiple iterations to sort of accommodate all these information and challenges that come up along the way. So I really want to bring up a mnemonic that alcoholics relapse is a great place for us to review, retrace, and maybe fine tune the plan, right? And then go back with renewed vigor. You just start over. And so typically it's a great place to analyze what triggered the relapse, right? Change does not happen in isolation. We all know that. So Alcoholics Anonymous have a great mnemonic for this, and they call it HALT. HALT BS. They say that relapses occur if one or more of the following things occur. That is hunger, anger, loneliness. T is tired, either you're stressed or bored. It's HALT BS. So it would be worthwhile to sort of explore what is at play in your case. And finally, typically people would cycle through this process a few times before they can arrive at termination, where the new behavior is now a habit. It's second nature. Also, another important thing that I'd like to point out is that people can be in multiple stages for different interventions that we offer them. I always find that when we start out a new program, people are most excited about changing their diet and lifestyle, because most people think of health as a linear function of diet and lifestyle. So when I throw in work stress management, or I'd say I think we need to look at the larger environment, they promptly fall into the pre-contemplation bucket because there is no intention or they don't feel the need to change that. It comes much later. So the reason I'm bringing this up is our change intervention would change depending on where they fall. So if it's I always go with what the client wants to do first. If it is that they want to work on diet, then that's the easiest place to start. You don't want to start off with poor motivation and interest. And then with pre-contemplation, you do nothing but listen to the client's reason for not wanting to do it. It's just no, you can't. There's no pushing your agenda, no saying you got to do this because it's just going to backfire very badly. So this is a very, very interesting model and very useful one to know where our clients fall and how we can, design our interventions to help them move from one phase to the next. So yes, so that was a model on how change works, but there are several barriers to change. We don't, operate in an ideal world, and everybody knows that change is the order of the day. Everybody is ready to do it. Clients are eager to take on, the change, and yet change is so hard. It's easier said than done. So there are several barriers to change, as I've listed them here, but it really funnels into just three barriers, three big buckets, right? You can funnel all these different barriers into three different buckets, and that is resistance, knowledge, and environment. If you can find strategies to sort of address these three forces, I think we'll have a pretty good chance at making that transformation. So resistance. So I'd like to go through each of these and maybe discuss a few strategies to combat each of these barriers. So resistance, simply put, resistance, you are facing resistance when there is inaction, there is a pause, there is lack of there's absolutely no communication. People are beginning to fall off the grid, right? That's resistance. Inaction, and there are several reasons for resistance, and that is lack of motivation. I experience this so many times that people start their program with great gusto, and at some point, it's always like this: motivation, willpower, attention, interest is always starts here, and it's a downward trend. So that makes our job that much harder to keep interest levels up. And so many reasons for lack of motivation. Like somebody once told me that my friends are having a blast. Why should I have to go through this? I don't feel motivated to do this. And they are all okay. And change always happens outside your comfort zone. And so fear of failure, and most people fear, when they have to step out of their comfort zone and into the unknown. There is a lot of fear of failure, of the unknown, and so on. And no clarity on the impact of change. People have been clients have been making changes for 2 months, and yet they don't see any visible changes. Weight hasn't dropped, their health goals, they're marginally feeling better. So motivation is low, so there is no action. Old habits die hard. We always default to old habits, patterns, our previous conditioning, etc. So that's a tough one to crack, and change is overwhelming. It is quite. People take that the interest levels are so high when we start out that people almost always bite off more than what they can chew, and then at some point it becomes too overwhelming because it's highly time and energy consuming. Mistrust, if the link between the practitioner and the client is broken, then there is a lot of mistrust. The client does not believe that this is the best laid plan for him or her, and so they're not motivated to make that change or take action. Failed past efforts. So you've done this in the past, hasn't worked for you. So you're very skeptical about whether this is going to work. And social stigma is plays such a huge role. People seek external validation at all times, and what others think is so important to people. Something like a sleep supplement is so hard. I think that's one of the hardest supplements for people to adapt to, in my experience, because nobody takes sleep supplement. Of course, that's changing now. But yeah, so you would encounter resistance in all of these stages: pre-contemplation, contemplation, maintenance, and relapse. So the best strategy when you encounter resistance is not to push the client, or it's not to and even from a client standpoint, when you experience resistance, it is not to fight it. I think this is a great time to just sit down, reconnect, restart the conversation, find out what's going on. A lot of positivity. You don't want to say, hey, if you don't do this, you're never going to lose that weight, or you don't want this negative narratives. You want to say unconditional, I understand that this is hard for you, and things like that. And active listening. You want to sort of understand where the client is coming from. Rolling with resistance. If you push back, they're going to push back again. So it's going to be a log jam, a checkmate, a stalemate. So there's going to be no movement. And leading with curiosity. This is a great chance to understand why there is resistance and remind them why they joined the program, and what it would mean to succeed in a program like this. And of course, setting realistic expectations is unrealistic expectation always results in a pause of action. Knowledge, I think this is pretty straightforward. When people come to us, they know they need to change, but there's a lack of, there's a lack of knowledge, lack of resources. They don't know how to go about it. I think we do a great, that's what the protocol is all about. Oh, I forgot to say that maintaining therapeutic relationships absolutely important through the process. I guess everybody gets this. But yeah, sorry. I think that's what the protocol is about. A lot of education, lot of direction, lot of insights. But above and beyond, I really like to encourage people to do their own research, read up, develop a language for this kind of change, a repertoire of dishes, or whatever it is. Any area that you take, you've got to build your expertise. And there's only this much as practitioners we can do. So I think education is key here. And above and beyond all of this, I think goal setting is absolutely crucial. Just sitting down and understanding if the client has understood this, or even for the client to just sit down with that protocol and see if they've understood it the way it's meant to be. Is it too much? Does it need to be broken down? Asking questions like, how am I going to make this change? Do I have the required resources? Do I have the time? Do I need to go back and revise this? Is this too much for me? These are the kind of questions, and you want to be really what do I say, anal about it. You really want to get down to the nitty-gritties, because that's what enables change. You don't want to leave any stone unturned. And of course, despite our best efforts, best laid plans, life happens. There is information that we don't have access to. People have to travel, new stressors come up, right? So at every step of the day, we want to review and revise and see why there was a relapse, why there's resistance, etc. So this is a key part of the process as well. And environment. Left to me, I would start the process here. I think you have to fix the environment first before you start making changes. Fix the holes in the roof before you start painting the house, right? You want to make sure that the ecosystem that you're a part of is conducive for change. But like I said, most people want to start off with what they are most familiar and comfortable with. But definitely, once they have set the ball rolling in this direction, I think we should all spend good amount of time examining the larger fabric in which they're going to operate, because change doesn't happen in isolation, and each of these factors can influence how you go about changing your life. And so very important to examine these factors. And I think once again, mindfulness is key here. You need to, I feel like when I ask my clients, what would your ideal life look like, or where are you headed? Most people don't have an answer. What are you going to do when you achieve good health? Most people draw a blank, because as a culture, we are not taught to reflect. We don't reflect on who are we, what are our likes, dislikes, challenges, strengths, weakness, right? Boundaries. We are just like those people on the train, which is just going somewhere. We are just in it for the ride and making the most of the resources that come our way. And that's got to change, really. If you want to take charge of your life, you've got to take charge of your, if you got to take charge of your health, you've got to take charge of your life first. So a lot of mindfulness activities here. So we build this into their daily routine. So, it's important, like people who came before us said, journaling, a lot of reflection exercises. So, just taking that 10 minutes to finding a time in the day when they can actually sit down and do this. And of course, meditation. A lot of people think of meditation as an antidote to stress, but I truly believe that meditation is more about putting like a gap between us and the external world, which is just sort of driving all the choices we make. And behavior tracking, quickly, all of these things that we are talking about is in the gray, right? We're talking about lack of motivation, changing beliefs, or changing our culture and stuff like that. So it is such a vague topic. So I think behavior tracking is a great tool that sort of helps turn it into like a data management technique. So any behavior you want to change, you track it for intensely for a week, and then we have enough data to see what is sort of draining you of your energy, what is benefiting you, where the changes need to be made. So this is a great exercise once again to undertake when you're examining your larger environment. And also having a destination in mind is key. Then you can work backwards and figure out what habits you need to cultivate today to get there. And, really each of these are a topic by themselves. So I'm just quickly touching upon them. Decluttering. This is my favorite tool. Basically, you just identify all the things that are not working for you or in your favor. It could be diet, people, habits, food, what else? Anything, and literally anything that's not working for you, you chuck. Easier said than done again. So you want to do that, remove things from your pantries, store stuff that's going to actually help you make healthy choices and stuff like that. Establishing new systems and boundaries. So all this, what I'm talking about in 2 minutes, is something I think it would take 2 years to sort of put these systems in place. But I think the key is to develop habits that will help you get there. Like mindfulness is one of the key tools that will help you do the rest. It will help you identify what is not working in your favor and help you declutter. It will help you understand what new traits you need to develop. So, establishing new systems and boundaries, saying no, learning to say no, finding your tribe. Somebody said, I guess somebody said people before this, and really finding your tribe is so important, because whatever we do as functional medicine practitioners, as a in the protocol, we're going against the grain. We're going against societal norms. This is not how the world around us functions, and it's that makes it that much more challenging. And I think it would be really beneficial to find people, find a community that speaks the same language, has the same goals, and will sort of be your accountability partner. Like, they understand your language, they understand the strife. So very important to sort of find your tribe. Again, how you find your tribe is maybe a 6 month, it's going to take time. And but yeah, what I'm trying to say is, I guess these are the things that we need to start putting on our wish list and to-do lists, and start just attacking them. Important to keep these things in mind. So yes, we are at the end of the presentation, and if there are 5 things that you could take away, I think one is, we are in the business of change. So definitely, all of us, I think we are equal partners, that is the clients and the practitioners. We need to spend time in not just telling people what changes to make, but also how to make them. And on the part of the client, it's important to spend time building that environment so you can sort of make those changes. That ecosystem is so important. If you don't have it, change is an uphill task. Health coaching drives change. Sorry, there's a S missing, but yeah, I told you I was going to make a case for health coaching. So yeah, I'm always for coaching and coaches. Again, the third thing to take away is positivity drives change, fear causes inaction. So through the program, so important for both the client and practitioners to be militantly positive, because fear of failure, fear of not achieving goals is just going to cause us to freeze. We all know that as a stress response. So just be positive no matter what happens. And of course, we have discussed the next 2 points: three barriers to change, resistance, which is just inaction, knowledge, lack of perhaps the skill sets needed, and environment. If there is one place you should start, it should be the environment. So important to sort of create that structure where you can then, make changes, heal, and thrive. Top three strategies for effective changing is rolling with resistance, never push your agenda, never try to change that, and leading with curiosity, goal setting, and mindfulness. So change is such a vast topic. I've tried my best to condense it and give you some vital information. I hope this has piqued your interest, and I hope you'll make an effort to learn more about change. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Nithya. We are getting a lot of feedbacks, very thoughtful and much required session. Need
I
more
don't
who work on this level with clients, right? So your passion towards your patients really came out through in your words, and we are very grateful for the knowledge and the inspiration that you have shared. Even before the patient becomes a patient, it's important that whether he's willing to change the things that he's doing or he or she is doing in his life, right? We do have one question with us. If a patient, I'll just share that. Just one second. Yeah. What if there is, this is by Gitanjali, what if there is a fallback or any barriers? Then how to get back to the goal set or get back to the change for better is what she's asking.
Yeah, like I said, I think
Yes,
it would take, no problem. I think it would take a lot of reflection. It would take a lot of contemplation. Firstly, you need to understand why this fallback happened, right? The triggers, like I said, halt, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, bored, stressed. And it could be something else too, right? So I think the first step is to identify the trigger and then sort of find ways to overcome that, and then get back on track. Find, you just fine tune your plan. So like I said, it will take multiple iterations to find a model that works for you. It's not like get set go. It never is. Very few people who can get it right first go. They are in the minority, not more the exception than the norm.
Everybody, it's different for each and every patient. Yeah, so it should be patient centric, and how much time the patient is going to take. So it all depends on that as well. How the disease has also formulated. Thank you so much, Nithya, for giving us the time and giving your valuable inputs on the same. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Bye.
Thank you so much.